Betsy had to make the decision on, do I come in tomorrow morning or do I stay asleep? And so it was pretty much a no-brainer coming in to make sure we have plenty of coverage, and there's just so much information that's been going on overnight tonight. So Hollie's going to be talking more about the heat. I'm kind of focusing just on the rain that is still coming down in Northeast Ohio. The severe weather has moved out of the area, so we are now severe clear. We are dealing with stratiform rain. This is just moderate rain that is coming down, but there is a lot of water on the roads on my way into downtown Cleveland. And notice, we don't have any yellows or heavy rain necessarily, but we have had a very consistent and persistent rain overnight, and that means there's tons of water on the roads and there's a lot of draining that's taking place. So hydroplaning going to be a distinct possibility throughout the morning commute. But you can see where we still have the rain coming down, specifically 71 and east, with heaviest rain right now along 77. We also have this little baby sitting out just to the northwest of Richland County. That's going to scoot down to the southeast. So Shelby, Ontario, Mansfield, you have a little heavy cell that's coming in. You may already see that lightning off to the west. Meanwhile, we have these flash flood warnings that are ongoing for Erie, Huron, Richland, Ashland, Wayne, and Holmes counties. This is the area where we have had 2 to upwards of 5 inches of rain that fell overnight with those very heavy storms. And these pinks, that's the heat warnings. Hollie's going to have a little bit more on that bigger picture in just a moment. But you can see where this stripe of very heavy rain fell through the overnight hours. That's where we have the greatest flooding potential. That's where those flash flood warnings remain. Off to the northwest, we're seeing just a few little pops that are still going on, and we may see those slide down here toward Richland and Ashland counties later in the morning. But behind that, we have clear skies, and all of this is riding on this heat dome. All of this heat that's sitting out here to the west of us will eventually be working in. And as a matter of fact, in your National Design-Mar hour-by-hour forecast for today, you can see we have cloud cover, but temperatures still manage to make it to the mid and upper 80s, and that is just the beginning of the heat. Hollie has more on the rest of the heat.
All right, Betsy, thank you so much. Yeah, that's the next big story. So we transition from one to the other, and midweek heat, I think, is probably the best focus here because it's really going to start to have impact as we head through the next couple of days. So we'll take a look at dew points, and we were talking about this a bit yesterday. This is what makes it feel humid to you. So when we start to talk about things like heat index, we take into account the actual air temperature and the humidity. So anytime we're talking 60s to near 70 degrees, oh, we're feeling it. You better believe we're feeling it. So as far as the uncomfortable goes, when you get into those mid-60 ranges, we're going definitely humid, right? And then flat out uncomfortable, and 70 degrees dew point values would be exactly that. Many of you are already there this morning. So that's going to really add to this whole equation as we look ahead. And look at these numbers. These are current temperatures in the 70s and 80s this morning. Many of you close to 70 with those rains moving through. If not, you're well into the 60s. And as we get a look at the top heat index values over the next 5 days, this is really something that will grab your attention if you're not staring at your TV and maybe getting breakfast done in between and trying to figure out, okay, how much earlier do I need to leave today because of those rains? Look at tomorrow and Thursday. Heat index values, what it's going to feel like, and that's the important number, 111 for tomorrow, 102 on Thursday, and then notice that we start to see things kind of mellow out as we get into Friday and this Father's Day weekend. So we talked about this a lot yesterday. We're going to have this brief period of really hot weather, which I think makes it a little more manageable. And then we get into that breather for Dad, and he most certainly deserves it. Looking at forecast versus record, we are going to be awfully close to some record highs, and I would say that we've got a very high probability of some record high ties and just new records in general over the next couple of days. So obviously we'll get those numbers in. But looking ahead, this helps tell the story because you could see that extreme heat that we've been focused on for the middle of the week. Then you also see the cool down for Father's Day weekend, and then things kind of mellow out to just warm and typical June as we look ahead to those first few days of summer and beyond. All that being said, we'll get a look at your Union Home Mortgage 7-day outlook, and there you go. We've been just bragging about those 90s midweek, and I hope that you've got a way to cool off. I mean, this is definitely some pool weather, definitely the sunscreen, definitely staying hydrated and all those things, Danielle. Looking ahead, though, to Dad's Day weekend, we really do get that break again.
Okay.
And then we'll rebound back into the 80s on Monday.
Yeah, and over these next few days, you definitely want to check on people who do not have air conditioning.
Yes, and don't forget about your pets. You know,
Yeah.
we say that a lot, but they need plenty of water, too.
All righty, thank you so much, Holly.